And she her friend Anna from.
But that blunt object then turns sharp, and his hands are slit with a sharp blade. His arms are cut.
The hidden history of London, the ghosts and the murders.
Say. और आज है हैलोवीन नाइट। वैसे तो 31 अक्टूबर को होती है, बट टुडे वी आर गोइंग। तो देखते हैं क्या सीन है। एक फ्री टूर मैंने बुक करवाया था, लेकिन कोई पता नहीं होता क्या सीन पार्ट है, अच्छा भी है या नहीं बुरा है। तो वहाँ जाएंगे तो पता चलेगा कैसा माहौल है कैसा माहौल नहीं है। फर्स्ट टाइम हैलोवीन पार्टी पे जा रहे हैं भाई। पार्टी तो नहीं है, स्ट्रीट वॉक है 1.5 घंटे की, उधर जाएंगे। Kat, what do you think? You will find some ghost or not?
Definitely.
Definitely. So she's Kat, our colleague, and she's her friend Anna from France. She's new in London and she's here to find some ghosts. Yeah. Ghost and ghost story.
Ghosts and ghost stories.
So let's see what we will find.
Have either of you ever had a ghostly experience?
Yeah.
Yes, you have. Would you like to quickly tell me more?
I went to Jane Austen's house and her mother.
I mean, already? That's terrifying.
I touched the writing table and I could feel like her mother was angry because I read about it. And I went home that night and I swear that her mother was sat at the end of my bed pressing down around my neck. Because, yeah.
St. James's Palace. It is the exact location that Charles I was held before he was marched straight through the park that we have walked to where he was executed. This originally was not a palace, it was a hospital for leprosy victims. And then in 1531, Henry VIII decided he had more important. Yeah, bleak, isn't it? Henry VIII decided that he had more important things to attend to, so he thought, who needs to worry about those suffering with leprosy? I'll tear it down and I'll place a palace here instead, because my second wife, Anne Boleyn, really likes places to sleep. And so they always do that, by the way, kings. They always give you a palace right before they take your head clean off your shoulders. Classic kings, classic kings. Henry VIII was a dangerous person to share the sheets with. Many of his wives were killed, some of them died in childbirth, 2 of them were beheaded. Catherine Howard and Anne Boleyn's ghost apparently haunt the Tower of London, and the 2 of them haunt side by side sometimes, I've been told. But this building, its first victims, the first people that died in this palace, were actually the children of Henry VIII and Anne Boleyn. Mary I, a child, and Henry Fitzroy, her brother. Fitzroy, for those that don't know, is an old English word for the illegitimate son of the king. Bastard child would often be the other way of saying it. And so they fell into a fever that they never recovered from inside here. And so from the Tudor times, reports started coming in of hearing the sounds of wailing children echoing through the corridors. But that's not the story that I love. The story that I really like happens hundreds of years after this was built, in 1810. Now, in 1810, the palace had a royal guest, the Duke of Cumberland, a man called Ernest Augustus. Now, that name flies in 1810, but if there was a kid in my school called Ernest Augustus, he'd be bullied. He would be bullied. But Ernest Augustus was the Duke of Cumberland, and he was staying in this palace. And the story goes like this, that in the spring of that year, the Duke awakes to an attacker over his bed, hitting him profusely in the head with a blunt object. The Duke raises his hands to deflect them, but that blunt object then turns sharp, and his hands are slit with a sharp blade. His arms are cut, and acting out of desperation, he calls for help. He calls for assistance. He asks for someone to save his life, and so very quickly the door is burst through as one of his butlers enters the room. When he does so, the butler finds the Duke alone. with no one in it apart from him. And he finds the Duke's bloodied sword resting against the bedside table. A doctor is called for to attend the Duke. And as the doctor is mending the Duke's wounds, the Duke asks for all of his head butlers to attend him as well. All of them arrive except for one, Joseph Sellis. So Sellis's name is called for down the corridors with no answer. They go to Sellis's room, they see it is locked, and they eventually have to force their way inside. And as they do so, this door swings and hits the wall and reveals that resting on the bed is Joseph Sellis. However, there is such a deep cut in Sellis's neck that his head is nearly separated from his body. There is a bloodied basin beside the bed with a rusty coloured water in it. But Sellis's body, from the waist down, is completely lacking in any sort of blood. His hands are clean, and his waist down is also clean. The blood starts to pool and run down the side of the bed. The inquest that then happens determines that Sellis was, in fact, an attempted assassin, that he had tried to kill the Duke, and when he failed, he was so consumed with shame and guilt that he runs back to his own room and slits his own throat, falling onto the bed. That doesn't sound right. In fact, the story that the staff members in here would say is something very different. They would say that why was there a bloodied basin beside the bed? Why was Sellis's hands clean from blood? How could he attack the Duke, presumably getting blood on him, and then return to his room, wash his hands, slit his throat so deep without getting a single drop on his hands? It seems so unlikely. And so, possibly, the story that could have been told was that the Duke was having an affair with Sellis's wife. And that when Sellis finds out, he confronts the Duke, and a quarrel ensues that ends in the death of Sellis. The Duke then covers it up and says that it was Sellis attacking him. And the second story that the staff members tell is actually Sellis and the Duke were themselves intertwined. They were having an affair, the two of them, and it was a lover's quarrel that ended in death. And so they say that Sellis's ghost still haunts this building, and with a head nearly separated from the body, he drifts through with a mouth agape. His ghost, in fact, is the inspiration behind nearly headless Nick from Harry Potter. However, the spooky thing about it is, believe that story or otherwise, like very recent reports from this palace, staff members have been hired in here, new staff members who have not been told the story I've just told you. Some of them will flat out refuse to enter one room in particular. And you can guess which room that is. It's Sellis's room. Because those that have said that they suddenly would feel very cold, that there would be a smell of sulphur in the air. There would be a presence that would make them feel like they're being watched, and just out of the corners of their eyes they might see something moving without them touching it. Spooky.
So, Kat,
Yeah.
what was your experience today?
It was an amazing experience going and walking with Bobby, the tour guide. He was fantastic, and he took us around and gave us an amazing experience. And we learned so much about the hidden history of London, the ghosts and the murders for the last 2,000 years of London history. And we ended on in St James's Park in a fairy fort with a circle of trees, which was beautiful. It was really great.
Okay, have a good night.
Thank you.
So right now I'm going to Soho area. Somebody told me that on that area I can find some people who are wearing Halloween costume. So let's see. भाई उर्दू तो पंजाबी च ये है, इंग्लिश साड़ी भी ख़राब है, पर क्या करें भाई, बोलनी पड़ती है, बताना पड़ता है कि भाई मैं लंदन में हूँ, तो इंग्लिश बोलना ज़रूरी है। तो आज कोशिश करते हैं, फाइंड आउट करते हैं कि हमें कोई ऐसे लोग मिल जाएं जो भूतिया कपड़ों में फिर रहे हैं और हमें पता चल जाए कि ये लोग कैसे हैलोवीन बनाते हैं। अभी मैं सोहो की तरफ जा रहा हूँ, यहाँ से 8 मिनट की वॉक है। तो इस 8 मिनट की वॉक में देखते हैं हमें कौन कौन से भूत मिलते हैं। अभी तक तो नॉर्मल इंसान ही मिल रहे हैं, कोई भूत ऐसा मिल नहीं रहा। एक्चुअली होता इस तरह है, फॉर द हैलोवीन पार्टी डेफिनेटली वी हैव टू पे समथिंग, लाइक वी हैव टू परचेज द टिकट। एक खरगोश नज़र आ रहा है जी, एक खरगोश नज़र आ रहा है, बट डेफिनेटली शी इज़ नॉट अ हैलोवीन गर्ल, शी इज़ वी कैन से बग्स बनी। ये तो बग्स बनी थी भाई। एंड व्हाई आई एम सेइंग अगेन एंड अगेन वी विल, because the thing is that I'm not alone. It's Halloween. Someone is with me. कोई है. And the reason is why I came again. Basically, Halloween night is 31st October. We booked a tour on 29 October, but the thing is that we didn't know about that tour. They will tell us the horror stories, and we will go some horror wanted places. But what I was trying to make in the video is that I will go some area where people are wearing a costume and moving around, something like this. So that's why I'm going to Soho. Particularly with me one more person who is wearing a Halloween costume. So where are you from?
I'm from Taiwan.
How you celebrate this Halloween?
Yes, I go into the party and I just going surrounding here. Like Soho is the most powerful place like this. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's London. Yeah.
Have a good day, bro.
Good now.
ਜਦੋਂ ਬੰਦਾ ਉਧਰ ਉਹ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਨਾ।
He also make me afraid. I was adjusting my camera. I didn't see him to come, and when he came, to be honest, I am like, oh, who is he? Who is he? तो डर गया था भाई मैं आज। So it's very nice. तो चलते हैं और किसी कैरेक्टर को फाइंड आउट करना है। मुझे किसी ने बताया था चाइना टाउन में आपको ये सब मिलेगा, और चाइना टाउन का भी ये आगाज हुआ है। सो लेट्स सी व्हाट वी विल फाइंड मोर। Say hi to camera. I have some couple as well. Say hi to camera. Say hi. What do you have? Oh, thank you. Have a good day. Have a good night. So they gave me this. Say hi to camera, bro.
Nobody has to teach them. They said return to God. Why? Because God is holy.
Say hi. Say hi to the camera. Hi. Bro, say hi to the camera. Oh, he's not in mood. Say hi to the camera. Say hi to the camera. Thank you. Say hi. Thank you. So it's time to say bye. We will meet in next video. And this is London, bro. So we are celebrating the Halloween. तो भाइयों मिलते हैं अगली वीडियो में। जिसने सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया वो सब्सक्राइब करे, फॉलो करे और बेल आइकन को प्रेस करके पहली वीडियो अब तक आए।